It's a nice picture. It's.
That's got to be a moment in your head where you just like every now and then just go, fuck.
Yeah. It is funny. Yeah. But it was a good picture. The only thing that was going through my head was, okay, I just can't look bad. And I didn't have anything, no grooming implements, so I just tried my best to not look too bad. There you go.
Yeah, you talk about humility.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what gives you more humility than being publicly humiliated?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, public humiliation. And it's, you know what? For most people, it is their number one fear.
Sure.
Is public humiliation.
Yeah. Public speaking, and because of that, public humiliation.
Sure.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Because we're so concerned about other people's opinions of us.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're
I'm
not sure
callous
of our
to it
own
now,
opinions
you
about it.
know.
Well, you've been through a lot.
Well, so have you.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I think
Sure.
they were giving you a grilling once for taking horseworm medicine.
Yeah. Funny.
Funny
how that works.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Well,
Funny how that does work.
Yeah. What's really funny is how that was a part of the demise of mainstream media.
Mm-hmm.
Because people were like, well, this is crazy. This doesn't make... Are you guys really the news? Like, what is this?
Yes, I know.
You know?
They seem to be complicit with a...
Oh, 100%.
And, you think, well, why? Well, why?
Because of money.
I
I think this is what we were talking about before, that there is good and evil.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes it manifests itself in a very clear and obvious way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what that was. That was evil. That was putting people's lives second and putting money first.
Well, I don't know why Fauci's still walking around.
How is that guy still walking around?
I don't get it.
If just people understand the history of the AIDS crisis and what that guy did back then.
Did you read that book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the book. I listened to it.
Yeah, I did too.
I drove up to San Francisco, and I listened to it, and I had road rage.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, whoa, how is he still there?
First of all, people that don't believe it, how come RFK Jr. didn't get sued?
Yeah.
How come there's no lawsuits?
Mm-hmm.
If there was lies, there would be lawsuits.
No, but that's
He
right.
would be publicly humiliated. Instead, they kept that book off bestseller lists. That book sold millions of copies.
I know.
They hid it. That's when you find out that bestseller lists are actually curated. It's not really bestseller.
Yeah. It's censored. It's all censored.
Yeah.
Everything's censored,
But that book is an accurate depiction of what Anthony Fauci did during the AIDS crisis, which
Yes.
probably was an AZT crisis.
Yeah, and
more
now
than it was an AIDS crisis.
I mean, it's fairly incontrovertible now that he
Right.
was fooling with gain of function.
100%.
And it's why is he still around?
Right.
Or at least free.
Right. And no repercussions.
Yeah, whatever happened to that story where, the wombat and the weasel got together and they were horsing around and a bat pissed on him with a
pangolin.
golden shower.
Yeah.
With, it's like, and all of a sudden it was in a wet market.
Yeah.
Very wet market. You got,
Complete total horseshit. And
Totally.
the scientists that we're supposed to trust were pitching that horseshit.
It was like the AIDS thing. Some green monkey bit a Qantas Stewart on the ass. Then he went around the world and got everybody sick. And it was like, ridiculous.
If you want to go to the AIDS rabbit hole, look up a guy named Peter Duesberg.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah.
I read that book.
Yeah, that is crazy. 'Cause if he's telling the truth, this is the fucking COVID crisis times 1,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had him on the podcast way back in the day. It was one of the earlier guests that I had. It was like way back in like 2010. And it was one of the first times I got openly attacked for someone being on the podcast. There was like, blood is on your hands. I'm like, first of all, no, it's not. It's 2010. Who's dying of AIDS? 0 people.
Yeah.
So stop. It's not blood's on your hand. Like, if this guy's correct, he's a tenured professor at the University of California, Berkeley, who is, like, his work on cancer is, everybody thinks it's groundbreaking work, brilliant doctor, but he was a heretic. He was a guy who stood outside of Fauci's
The narrative.
doctrine and the narrative, and he said, I don't believe that HIV is what's causing this, when all these people that are having these immune systems are all heavy drug users.
Yeah, well, that's
He's
right.
like, I think this is a disease of a decimation of the immune system due to heavy drug use, and then on top of that, you're prescribing this chemical, this AZT, that kills people.
Yeah.
They stopped using it for chemotherapy because it was killing them quicker than cancer was.
I was in the Sydney Theatre Company in the 90s, and I was going to a funeral once a month of friends. They were all dying. It's crazy in the 80s and 90s.
And they were all getting AZT.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the ones that were getting AZT, even the ones that were asymptomatic, like Magic Johnson, they were giving Magic Johnson AZT. He had to stop taking it.
Yeah.
Because he was making him sick. It was killing him.
Yeah. Yeah, I read it. And like, it's even with RFK's book. And he's an amazing guy. People say, oh, he's kooky, he's crazy. He's not crazy.
He's not.
He's one of the most erudite, they say he's an anti-vaxxer. He's not.
He's not.
He's a very shrewd, he's never lost a case, I don't think, when he brings something to suit. I don't think he's ever been defeated. But that book is not just him. It's him and about 1,000 highly qualified scientists and physicians commenting on the whole situation. So when you read it, it's a pretty convincing document. And you're right, nobody sued him for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
Well, not only did they not sue him, their response is to try to ignore it. They don't want to debate him on it. They don't want to do anything.
No.
They want to just ignore it and hope it goes away. But it doesn't go away. And the more people talk about it, the more people read it. And when you do read it and you go, if this is true, what the fuck is going on? And how is that monster still loose?
Yeah. Oh, well.
And he seems like a monster. The way he talks about things, he just seems... Well, first of all, there's so many instances of him lying. There's so many, like, where he said one thing, 2 years later it turns out to be a lie. Said one, like, whether it is the natural...
mask thing.
Yeah, the mask thing, whether it's the natural spillover, the lies about gain of function to Congress,
Sure.
When he was lying to Rand Paul about whether or not they did gain of function research. Like, how is that not perjury? How is he not in trouble?
Yeah, well, hey, other mysteries,
Well, then the Biden administration is now talking about taking that guy and giving him a full pardon. It's like fucking crazy.
Yeah, they might. I gave Hunter a pardon.
Yeah. But Hunter's like...
Hunter didn't need a pardon. Was he indicted?
Well, I mean, he was in trouble for tax evasion.
Oh, I see.
There's a lot of tax problems. He definitely did some uncool things. And then there's the Burisma thing. But the crazy thing about his pardon is it starts at the time of him being involved in Burisma. So it's from 2011 all the way to today.
Right.
That's what he pardoned him. It's the biggest sweeping pardon that anyone's ever received ever. And Biden's pardoned more people than anybody ever, too.
Yeah.
He was already over 8,000 people pardoned.
Yeah. A lot of criminals on death row and stuff.
Well, there's that, but then there's also people that, like the Kids for Cash judges, where they were locking up kids and putting them in child detention centers because they wanted money. And they were doing it for kickbacks.
Yeah. I saw that.
Evil.
It was a documentary.
Yeah, evil. Again, what we're talking about, good and evil.
Yeah.
Like these are real things, and rational people that profess themselves to be intelligent and secular, they don't want to believe in good and evil. They don't think that they just think people do bad things. People have motivations, they do bad things, but they don't want to believe in the concept of good and evil because these are biblical concepts.
They are.
Right?
Yeah. And they've been around since the beginning.
And people want to pretend they're smarter than the people that sort of embrace these biblical concepts.
Right, I think that goes into evolution again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Are we smarter than our grandparents, I don't know.
Well, we are about some things, but we can't survive the way they did.
Nope.
They are obviously intelligent.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't have access to information the way we do. But there's a difference between information and intelligence.
Sure.